he's passed away now, but you can tell that I already started to get the physical recovery. But physical recovery is one thing, and emotional and mental recovery is another thing, and spiritual recovery. Next slide. But as hard as it was, because when you put down one drug, such as flour and sugar, then another drug can pop up and render you naked with fear and dread. And as much as I wanted to run away, like I did in Miami, I had to stay and work on myself, spiritually, mentally, and physically, via intensive study due to the 12 steps. And the miracles started to happen. And things that I didn't even know were possible to me. But it's like a whack-a-mole. You know that game, the whack-a-mole? And the things that keep popping up. It's like, put one addiction down, another one pops up. Put addiction down, another one pops up. Okay. But miracles started happening. And I started my own company doing videography. And I started an essential oils business. I was trying that for a little bit. I started Voracious Healing, which is all things healing. I was also a yoga teacher. I became a yoga teacher. I graduated from Harvard. Right? I studied education technology and became a teacher for students of all ages. I got married. I had babies. I was the pinnacle of health and serenity among my friends and my family. And then I got cancer at 39, when my children, Asher and Amavia, were 4 years old and 6. By the way, they're going to love that I mentioned their name in this talk. Someday I'm going to bring home the snacks for them and tell them that. I discovered my lump while I was breastfeeding my daughter, Alma. I was a real hippie mom. She was 4 years old. And I thought it was a blood milk duct. I led such a healthy life. Why would I have a tumor? I was beginning my journey, so I didn't know about thermography, and I opted for the mammogram to appease my mother, who kept telling me to get one. I was resistant, but I finally did it. I don't know. What? Oh, okay. 5 minutes. Can I have like 10?
No.
Oh, come on.
We got to turn over the room to the
Okay.
They have another event.
Okay, there were too many red flags. I was young, healthy, and active. So the doctor ordered genetic testing. We all know that 5 to 10% of breast cancers are hereditary. And could I be part of this law? I never had a form that had a box for Ashkenazi Jews, but usually it's standard boxes: Caucasian, African American, Native American, but Ashkenazi Jew. And this is where I talk about the genetic trauma of the Ashkenazi Jewish people. So please take a picture of that if you want to learn more about why there's generational trauma with the Ashkenazi Jews. Okay? I went into detail about it, and then now back to the cancer journey. After 3 weeks, I received the results of my testing, and I had tested positive for the BRCA1 gene, which stands for breast cancer gene, and BRCA, breast cancer. Women with this gene have a 45 to 85% of chance of developing cancer in their lifetime. My grandmother died of breast cancer, and my father of pancreatic cancer. And, there was a part of me that was relieved at this point because, maybe it wasn't something that I did. I think when you first get cancer, you're like, oh, what did I do? And having a genetic cancer, you're like, oh, well, it's genetic, right? But we all know that there's something can be sparked no matter what, cancer in the body. And this was my first cancer rodeo, and I was learning and taking in everything, and I knew that I didn't want to be defined. I didn't want to be defined by my diagnosis. So I wrote on my chest, cancer does not define me. And so I made the decision at that moment, no matter what I endured on this journey, it will not define who I am. So kicking and streaming, I agreed to do chemotherapy, and I was already firmly based in natural healing and lifestyle because I was already invested in holistic healing. I didn't want to do this, but they're very good at convincing me. So, yeah. Next slide. So I did all the chemo, I did all that, and I shared about it along the way in my Instagram, on my social media, and at that point, I was also doing the cold cap, and it freezes your hair follicles so you don't lose your hair. And I got so much encouragement and support from my communities, social media, and then friends and family. And once I got to Taxol after the Red Devil, it was like a walk in the park. And then I got the deep reconstruction. Next slide, the deep reconstruction, and I shared about that. This is all available on my Instagram at Breast Cancer Goddess. At Breast Cancer Goddess is my Instagram. Next slide. And I became the chemo kitty. And I had fun. In a way I had fun because I was learning along the way. I know, can it be fun? Yes, it can be fun. The Booby Book was it's the best shopping experience I ever had. Next. And then I had the deep reconstruction, is when they take fat from your stomach and put it in your breast. So I'm just going to go based now on the slides, and I'm going to wrap it up in 2 minutes by saying that happened. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. That's my grandmother who passed away. I've never met her. Breast cancer. Slide. And then in 2021, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. Next slide. And Dr. Vega, amazing doctor, he healed it. He took it out, and I had a 7-hour surgery. Next. Again, brain cancer does not define me. Next. And then I started helping others along the way. I became the Breast Cancer Goddess, and I started to educate people about what to do when you have a debilitating stage 4 cancer. And then I was diagnosed with leptomeningeal disease and given 3 to 6 months to live. Yeah. And then I had no choice. They didn't have a good solution, so I ended up working with my naturopathic doctor, who never charged me. She was just a friend that I met at a park because our kids were playing together. Yes. And I documented every day of my fast. I fasted for 67 days. Yeah. The details you can learn about that in my memoir, my Substack, or by connecting to me. And the healing, it was profound healing. That's my oncologist, Dr. Wolf, and they just didn't know what to think because they've never had a radical remission like that. Yeah, thank you. I documented every day of the fast, so you can go to my Instagram, go look at what I did every day. I don't need to tell you because it's there. I documented it. Next. That's my family, and that's day 60 of the fast. And yeah, that's I ended up drinking my own pee at one point, so you really want to see that, please go on that code. Next. And then I integrated in Dominican Republic, which is a really, really bad idea because the microbiome is so different. Yes. And I was rendered on hospice this was September-ish of 2023, not too long ago. And they wanted to put me on hospice, and I didn't want to be on hospice. And I said, don't let them infanticize you. You know, I was still teaching. I was still telling them, no, you cannot infanticize me. This is my journey. And next. And I was given a drug called NR2, and it's by AstraZeneca. And it saved my life, along with the fasting. It's the integrative approach. And I started to heal. This is some of my friends that would help me along the way. I started to heal them. You can I'll keep it short, but you can see where I was coming from. You can see how skinny I was. Okay, next. I healed. People helped me. They brought me food. I mean, the same thing happened when I had breast cancer, but this was even more powerful. Thank you. And the healing, and I kept documenting the healing. Kept going. Didn't stop. And then I lost all my hair because they didn't have time to do the cold cab. And one of the culmination things is I was able to go on a trip with my mother and my daughter, last February. And I did this for my oncologist. She can't get over this. when your patient does that, it's good news, right? And then I started Breast Cancer Goddess. And we are doing so much. You can just flip through the sides because I don't have time to talk to you about all the amazing work we're doing. Hopefully I'll come back again and be able to share what we're doing. And I started a nonprofit, and we started in the 90s because I work with Professor Ellen Langer at Harvard in the mindfulness lab, and where you put the mind, the body follows. We all know this now. And that's what we do in our retreats. We have 4 spots available. Coming up another retreat in April. And please, we have a dance party that's happening tomorrow if you're interested on Zoom. So we do tons of fun events because fun heals everything. Yes, endorphins heal everything. Next. And if you want to learn more about my journey, I'm going to be doing a digital memoir. I just started 3 weeks ago because I could. Because I had just been healing from cancer. So I had to heal before I could talk again about this. So this is my Substack. I'd love it if you can follow me and support me on this journey of creating a digital memoir. Next. We just had a sound healing in Miami. I led that sound healing, and we brought our goddesses.
Great photo credit, really?
Yes, we brought our goddesses and made these shirts, these hats, because we're the goddesses. We're all goddesses, no matter what cancer you're going through. You don't have to be the breast cancer goddess. That's why I'm now the cancer goddess. It's my for-profit, and my non-profit is the breast cancer goddess. I gotta fund the non-profit. All right, next. And here are some more of my this is my nonprofit. Lots of resources there for breast cancer, women going through breast cancer. And this is. Do you want to read that? Because I can't see it.
Prayer for the day, February 27th.
Oh yeah.
I pray that the fever of resentment, worry. Did I read that right? I pray that the fever of resentment, worry, and fear may melt into nothingness. I pray that health, joy, peace, and serenity may take its place.
That's right. Amen. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm sorry I went over. I'm sorry. Yeah. Thanks, Julia, for having me.
Any questions are here before?
This was the best part of the whole conference.
Wow, you're so sweet. Oh, and her too. Yeah, it was I was HER2 negative, and then I became HER2 positive. I had to skip over that part in lieu of time. But I think it's for HER2 positive cancers. Yeah. Yeah.
Would you like to do a breast cancer goddess pose like you did upstairs? Yeah. I wouldn't say that, but I was more thinking like this.
And urine samples will be passed out. So thank you. Hey, you know what the best part of life is? Being yourself. God bless you.